guys, here's a good look at what's going on with my tires. Welcome back to the channel, Racerx here, and today is actually a super crappy, rainy, ugly day here in the Tampa area. But last night, I actually took this car, my Demon 170, out to the track for a test and tune night. I've been needing to get more seat time in the car. Well, last night I went, I did that, and it did not really go as planned. I'm gonna go ahead and play the footage for you guys. I want you guys to kind of see what I'm working with right now so you guys get a gauge of what it's like to try and get this thing down the track. And then at the end of the video, I will go ahead and kind of dissect my thoughts on it. If you guys are brand new to the channel, don't forget, hit subscribe. You can find that button right over here. Also, you can hit that notification bell so you're notified when my brand new content comes out, and off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Today I'm back at Bradenton Motorsports Park with the Demon 170. This is my second outing in the Demon 170. Many of you guys may have seen where I raced the Tesla Plaid, and unfortunately, spinning was a problem. This car's torque hit is insane. But tonight I'm going to try a few different things. It's a test and tune night, so the prep may not be ideal, so it may be a struggle, but I wanted to try out different ways to launch this car. So we're going to give it a shot tonight. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get a race in. So the car should be pretty nice and cool by the time it's time to go. I'm going to run about 50 pounds of pressure in the front, and I'm going to take the pressure all the way down to 19 pounds to start tonight. I'm really hoping that the car hooks. My plan is to get about 1,200 RPM on one run and try another run from idle. The first run I may just try from idle. A lot of people have suggested I do different things. So tonight it's all about trial and error and seeing what actually works on this car and hopefully not spinning. Now I did actually pull the interior out of the car. I didn't do anything else, guys. Obviously the back seat and the front seat. I think I've got about a 60-pound weight savings by taking those two out, but I'm just trying to kind of give it the best chance that I can. Everything else is the way the car comes, guys. So like I said, just seat removal took me 15 minutes. Off we go. Well, I'm getting ready to make my first shakedown pass of the night. I hope it's a good one. I'm gonna leave off of idle this time. I'm gonna get the tires nice and hot, running right around 19 pounds in the back of this car. So I don't know, let's just hope for the best. Let's hope the car actually sticks leaving off of idle. I've not run it off of idle yet. Talked to multiple people about leaving off of idle, and they say that's definitely something to try because some of the fastest passes have come off of idle. But we're gonna see if the track holds it. I'm gonna go ahead and try and make another hit. Unfortunately, I didn't film the first hit, but I spun anyway. I feel like my tire pressures are right where they need to be. The track prep has to be so good to be able to get this car to hook up. So I'm gonna try something a little different. I left off of idle last time and it spun. I'm gonna try about 1,200 RPM and see if it will hold. And if it will not, I cannot leave in second gear. A lot of people think that you can leave in these cars in second gear. Unless it's tuned, it will not allow you to leave in second gear. So we'll see. Well, guys, unfortunately, that was not a very clean pass either. So that's 2 runs and 2 spins. That was a 1.5360 foot. I missed at least a couple of tenths on that spin. The track just isn't holding the power, guys. This car is so violent off the hit. I tell people that all the time. People that drive the 170, you guys understand. It's a lot more violent off the hit than my 1,000 horsepower Hellcat, certainly than my twin turbo Mustang. I mean, the car hits like an absolute ton of bricks and it wants to spin. Even with, you know, making some adjustments like trying to leave at 1,200 RPM like I just did, it's just not holding the power. So 140, right, basically 145 mile an hour, not great on the mile an hour either. 8th mile, 625. Not super impressed with it. The DA's not all that good tonight, guys, but still, I would love to get in a clean pass where I just didn't spin. So I may try one more time on a super, super light trans brake to see if it'll hold. And if it won't, I'm not going to keep beating up the car. I'll probably just head to the house. Guys, here's a good look at what's going on with my tires. You can see just how much I'm folding up these tires at this pressure. I may actually have to take the pressures up just a little bit. And probably this next one, we're going to roll on a light trans brake. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Guys, they've got a bunch of Mopars out here. Look what I found. This is actually an RT, but he stuck a Hellcat blower on it. So I actually may have to give him a shout later and see if we can get him on the channel, because I really like that setup, and we'll find out if he's having success with that. Check this out. You got a Bad Daddy Whipple Hellcat right here. Step on over here, you got some Charger stuff. I mean, so the Mopar guys are representing tonight. More of those guys over here. And then, of course, we got some other stuff out here. We got some Plaids. I've seen a bunch of fun things. But if I can't hook, I'm not racing anybody tonight, guys. I've got to get this car to hook, so we'll see. Look who I stumbled across. Some of you guys may know him. This is Andrew from the Tesla Plaid channel. So he's got his Plaid out here. He said he wants to run me. I'm sure he does if he can see me spinning. But if I can get this car dialed in, maybe we'll get this race in. But he's local, so this is a race that hopefully we can get in at some point. And like I said, I just got to get some consistency with the car, try some things, and maybe we'll get that race in at some point. I know his car's quick, but it would still be fun. So after spinning twice off the foot brake, once at idle and once at about 1200 RPM, neither one was in torque reserve, so it should have been a softer hit. Track isn't holding it, so now we're gonna start working on the trans brake and see if we can get this joker to work, because that is kind of the game changer for this car, I'm hoping. So we're gonna go to drag options right here. I wanna set this thing up on a really light map on the trans brake. So as you can see, you've got different maps here, right? So you've got A, B, and C. So A is a much more aggressive. You can see how hard the torque comes on there. B, kind of in the middle. And then you've got C. So what I want to try to do, you can see the blue line is what's available. Red is what we're actually going to use. So this is the softest map that comes from Dodge. And you can see my launch RPM. I may pull that down just a little bit to like 1600, just to give myself the best chance to actually hook at the track. And man, I hope I don't spin on this time. So let's see what happens. Brake is a little tricky. We got it to launch pretty smooth, but the launch felt so soft. So it was probably still a pretty slow 60 foot, but I didn't spin, which was good. Well, some good news and some bad news about that last run. The good news is I did not spin. Bad news is the car was still pretty darn slow, especially by Demon 170 standards, and the time wasn't any better. That was a 971 at 144.19 mile an hour, so just not really impressive whatsoever. But like I said, we had to pull so much power out to get it to hold. That's kind of what you get. I mean, my 60 foot there, not very good, a 1.58 60 foot, and this car, I know it will go much faster, several tenths faster than that. I was hoping to be like in the 1.3s today. And granted, the DA, as I mentioned, is not very good today, so I was never going to make this crazy hero run. It's a little bit humid out here. The temperature's pretty hot in Florida, unlike a lot of the northern states where it's nice and cold, you get good DA. But basically, I mean, geez, the 8th mile on that, 6.3, it just, so much power pulled out of the car to get it to launch. So yeah, it was still slow. So there you go, guys. That was the footage from last night. A pretty frustrating ordeal. And I've told you guys multiple times, this thing is an absolute handful to launch at the track. Anybody that's driven a 170, you heard me talk about it in the video, the thing is just a freaking monster, and the torque hit is insane. And you really do need to have a really good 60 foot, which is what this car is made to do, to get these incredible times out of the car. And if the track will not hold it, it just simply won't hold it. So I will probably not be going out for any more test and tune nights because the prep just isn't there. I'll need to go out on private events where the prep is much better. But you saw even when I raced the Plaid, the vast majority of those launches I spun. And I stuck the very first two, and then when I raced the Plaid, the car just wanted to spin. And I prefer to race this thing on a foot brake. You did see me run like a 970 something off a really light trans brake hit, but the trans brake, I didn't even show it to you, the trans brake kicked out on me. When I was actually racing somebody with it, and I felt like I followed all the steps, but it's pretty complex to use, guys. I mean, you have to hold both paddles back after your burnout, you pull up, you basically have to go hard on the brake with the left foot, mat the throttle all the way to the floor with the right foot, then bleed up to the second bulb with your left foot, hard on the brake again. One paddle comes off, then you can take your foot off the brake and then you go. And if you leave any sort of room, like if you don't completely floor the car, it kicks out on you. If you don't follow all the steps perfectly, it kicks out on you. And it can be pretty frustrating. I have to do it just over and over and over and over to have any sort of confidence whatsoever. I actually prefer to race it on the foot brake. But as I told you guys, this car builds torque reserve on the foot brake, and it launches so violent. And the only way it's going to stick is if the prep is really, really sticky. And so that's my goal, is to get out there when the prep is really good at a private event, give the car a better chance to succeed. It was on E85. I feel like I did everything right with the tire pressures. It's just an animal. And to be quite honest with you guys, after having this thing out at the track twice now and spinning the vast majority of the runs, yeah, I will continue to get better at the trans brake, but I feel like the next evolution for this car, and basically a must do at this point, is to stick a 15-inch conversion on the back of this car. I feel like this car almost has to have that in order to have any sort of consistency and really have a lot of fun with it. So that's what's gonna have to happen here, guys. I thought I would just kind of share this with you. A little bit of frustration, that's part of racing. Whenever you have a really fast, powerful car, guys, this is kind of a little bit of what you go through. There is a learning curve with the car. But boy, what an absolute monster of a car, and what a handful. It's just gonna take, I think, like I said, 15-inch conversion I think will really help this car. Basically a must do. Lots of 170 owners are all talking about the same thing, guys. I'm not the only one struggling with this. Just about everybody is on that 17-inch tire. Anyway, guys, I would love to hear what you guys think about all this in the comments down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, Racerx.